For decades, we've been told that presidents are the architects of our economic fate. But what if the truth is far more complex? What if the power we attribute to the Oval Office is just an illusion? On one side, we have those who believe presidents significantly shape our economic outcomes. And then on the other, we have those who argue the economy is too complex, too interconnected for one person to control. To uncover the truth, we need to do a deep dive into history, policy, and the hidden forces that truly drive our economy. Buckle up, this journey might challenge everything you thought you knew about presidential power. 3 presidents, 3 defining economic crises, and 3 bold plans to save the nation. When the Great Depression hit, Franklin D. Roosevelt's New Deal aimed to pull America out of despair with Social Security, massive public works, and financial reforms. Decades later, Ronald Reagan faced stagflation and unleashed Reaganomics, tax cuts, deregulation, and a free market revival that promised prosperity. Fast forward to 2008, and Barack Obama tackled the worst financial crisis since the Depression with a $787 billion stimulus package, the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act. FDR's New Deal built safety nets and infrastructure that still support us to today. Reagan's policies ignited economic growth, but also set the stage for rising inequality and a national debt surge. Barack Obama's stimulus helped stabilize a collapsing economy, though the recovery was slow and uneven. Their actions made headlines, but were they just reacting to forces far bigger than one leader? Who's really pulling the strings in our economy? And more importantly, what does that mean for the market, especially for us in crypto? The truth might shake up everything that you thought you knew. First, we need to go back to Econ 101 and talk about GDP. You've heard this before, gross domestic product, the sum of all goods and services that are produced in the economy. But what if I told you that this number is a lot more mysterious than you think? And what it holds is the key to understanding why presidential power might just be an illusion driving the market that we care about. GDP is like the pulse of the nation's economy, but it doesn't just beat on its own. It's driven by 2 factors, 2 main forces: productivity growth and population growth. Here's the problem. Both are influenced by forces that are far beyond any president's control. So why should you care about GDP? Because when GDP stalls or shrinks, it's not just the numbers, it's your job, it's your savings, it's your future on the line, it's your investments inside the market. Yet presidents keep liking to take credit or blaming others, but here's the twist. When they're busy talking, GDP is quietly being shaped by forces in the shadows, forces that no one elected and no one controls. And the next time a president or a candidate promises to boost the economy, ask yourself, are they really in control? Because while leaders can make all of these promises, it's the forces that they can't control that truly shape our world, and nothing shapes the world faster than technology. Seemingly in the blink of an eye, entire industries rise and fall. Technologies appear out of nowhere, reshaping our world before our very eyes. Computers, the internet, AI, these aren't just inventions, they're tidal waves sweeping our economy, transforming everything in their path. They're the massive macro trends that define decades, and if you can get ahead of these trends and you can guess them right, they are the trades of our lifetime, massively changing the way that we live life. And when our lives change, so does the economy. And in their wake, giants like Apple, Google, and Amazon, companies that didn't just grow, they exploded, adding trillions of dollars to our economy, creating millions of jobs, and rewriting the rules of business. But here's the twist. Did any president see this coming? Did any of them make this happen? Did Eisenhower invent the internet? Did Kennedy code the first software? The answer is no. They happen in garages, dorm rooms far away from Washington's reach. The internet, sure, it started in the government labs, but it exploded in the private sector. Innovation has a habit of running wild far beyond the grasp of any policy. A bad president can delay or stall innovation. A good president can make it easier to allow it to thrive. But truly revolutionary technology like the internet, it's inevitable. And when technology moves faster than any government, it makes you wonder, are any presidential claims of a better economy due to their direct actions, or was it due to some innovative tech that might have exploded during their term? And on top of this, there is yet another powerful force that is quietly shaping our economy, one that people don't even think about. But if you understand this, it's like having a secret map to navigate the financial market, whether it's stocks, gold, and even crypto. Here's the kicker: this force is about to hit a tipping point currently in the US that no president can stop. To understand it, you're gonna need to know what's happening with the baby boomers. Once a powerhouse generation driving our economy, they are now retiring in the masses. It's like a slow moving earthquake shaking the very foundations of our economic structure. And it sounds minor at first, but this is a major shift that could ripple across every financial market, including crypto, because with fewer workers means less economic output, which means this affects everything from job creation to the value of your investments. To less workers means less paychecks to collect from taxes, less products and services being created and sold, and ultimately less money for the US overall. And with less money, that means less people have money to invest. Now, presidents can promise all sorts of solutions, but here is the truth. No president can snap their fingers and say, my American people, we are in a debt crisis, so we are forcing everyone to have more sex and have more babies. Thank you. Even if it was possible, the economic impact couldn't be felt for decades. This demographic shift is a ticking time bomb that is set to go off no matter who's in office. And some experts suggest that AI could fill the gap, taking over jobs and boosting productivity. But AI is just not ready yet. Analysts predict it could take another 10 to 20 years before AI is advanced enough to truly transform our workforce. So in the meantime, we are left with the growing problem and no easy solution. So what is the real play when it comes to shaping our economy and keeping it alive? And understanding it could change the way that you see the markets. And to do this, we need to understand what happened in 2008. The economy was on the brink of collapse. Banks were failing, homes were being foreclosed, and it seemed like the financial world was crumbling. But behind the scenes, something extraordinary was happening. A financial maneuver so powerful it could change the course of the economy for years to come. Enter the Federal Reserve, the central bank of the United States. It, along with the world's central banks, had a choice: stand by and watch or take drastic action. And what they did next was nothing short of financial magic. And to understand this, we need to dive into the mechanics of how money and debt work in modern America. It's not as straightforward as you think. It starts with the US Department of Treasury. When the government needs money, whether to fund infrastructure, social programs, or bailouts, it doesn't just print it. Instead, what it does, it issues debt. Think of it as the government saying, we need cash now, so here is an IOU. We promise to pay you back with interest in the future. The debt comes in the form of bonds and treasuries, and it's sold to investors. But here's where it gets really interesting. The Federal Reserve, which is separate from the Treasury, but still a part of the US government, steps in. They create new money out of thin air to buy this debt. Yeah, that is right. The Fed conjures up fresh dollars to purchase these IOUs, injecting a massive wave of cash into the economy. And why can they do this? Because we're no longer on the gold standard. There was a time where every dollar had to be backed by an equal amount of gold, but those days are gone. Now the government can create as much money as it needs, and the Fed is the magician making it happen. This newly created money flows through banks into companies and eventually into your pockets. All of that stimulates economic growth. It's like blowing up a balloon. The economy swells with all that fresh air. But here is the catch: if you blow too much, the balloon can burst. So here's the thing: printing money doesn't automatically have negative consequences if we're producing goods and services to match the new inflow of money. But if there's an imbalance, there's more money chasing the same or fewer goods, the value of the currency can fall, weakening its purchasing power. The process of weakening currency's value is known as debasement. which often leads to inflation, where the price of goods and services rise as a result. The fear of debasement is one of the key reasons why Bitcoin was created after the 2008 financial crisis. A decentralized currency with a fixed supply free from government control, designed to be immune from these kind of money printing policies. And as we've seen, debasement and inflation push up prices and create hardship, but they also have hidden benefits. As the currency drops, the prices of assets like houses, stocks tend to rise. More money flowing through the economy drives up the value of hard assets, including risk assets like tech stocks and crypto, which historically have thrived and outperformed other assets in these conditions. And for a second, you might think that the president controls this flow of money. But here's the truth, it's the Federal Reserve who holds the keys. The president can appoint the Fed chair, but once they're in office, the chair operates independently. The president can't just fire the Fed chair, nor can they dictate monetary policy. The Fed's primary goal is to manage inflation and control the monetary supply, the money supply, sometimes even going against the president's wishes. And here's the kicker, after 2008, it wasn't the president who had the biggest impact on the economy, it was the Federal Reserve. They stepped in, making decisions that would ripple across every corner of the market, reshaping the world that we live in with an aging population and productivity growth slowing with AI still in the far future. The solution that we leaned on is piling on more debt. This is not the most ideal fix, and it's just a short-term fix, a way to keep the economy afloat while we search for long-term answers, like the advances in AI. But here is where it's fascinating. This surge in debt isn't just a band-aid, it's actually boosting asset values, including crypto, and it's why you need to understand this concept. So while it seems like a fragile strategy, in the meantime, for those who are holding the right assets, it's a window of opportunity. Now, where does that leave us? The reality of presidential economic power lies somewhere in between myth and fact. While presidents can influence outcomes, they're often at the mercy of larger forces beyond their control. They're not the economic gods that we've been told, but they're not entirely powerless either. It doesn't look like the government's gonna stop printing money, so it's important to understand the origins of Bitcoin and how it was created in response to the 2008 financial crisis. So watch my video on it here, and I'll see you in the next video.